what's pretty awesome is that we're both at the point where we can be like, we logged on to StreamYard like 2 minutes ago, and now we're live. And I know we're doing it every day. And this is episode 34 of the Get Shit Done Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Getting a little behind the scenes chat today. But it's great. Not everyone can do this, and everybody needs to practice it. But it's great that I find it great that you're able to to be spontaneous and pretty spur of the moment. You know what?
Sure. Yeah, totally.
We texted a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. It was pretty vague and nebulous. I wrote something up real fast. I pasted it to you. You plugged it in, and now we're live. Right?
Here we are. Yeah.
We haven't discussed it. You know, it's completely unplanned, but I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I'm stoked for it.
It's Monday morning. You know what time it is?
It's time to get shit done.
It is. And what better time than the first Monday of February 2025? It's February 3rd, 2025. And today is episode 34 of the Daily Get Shit Done Show. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm getting continually more jacked to be doing the daily show. Like, it's feeling better and better to me. Like I have
awesome.
I didn't have much resistance to begin with because I was enthusiastic about it.
Yep.
But now I'm like, really, it's just great. You know, I'm sure there'll be other phases of it too, but for me anyway, I feel like it's a very empowering thing to spend an hour doing something like this every day.
No, it is.
Yeah. Like for myself, for my business, for the community. Like, how does it feel to you?
Yeah, it feels great. I've got this notebook that's just filling with pages full of golden nuggets of direction and clarity and breakthroughs and all the things I need to put into action to get me where I'm wanting to go. And yeah, I just find it is a really good way to get things started in the morning and have that direction, that focus, and the accountability of talking about what you're going to do in a live stream. I mean, just having that wide open public accountability system
dramatically increases the chances that you follow through on it, right? Like, not everything gets done still,
sure.
So much more. So
much more.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. So this week today we're going to do a Get Shit Done weekly plan. Okay. And we haven't done this before. So it'll be great. And you, our faithful listeners, our faithful loyal viewers, are perhaps our Get Shit Done cult members. You can go ahead and walk through this first ever Get Shit Done weekly planning session with us today. But before we do that, we got Silk City Hot Sauce in the house. So this is actually great. What's up, Jeff? Jeff Levine, everyone, hailing in from Silk City Hot Sauce. Hell yeah, month 2. You guys inspired me to get shit done in January, and business is up, dude.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. So Jeff started his own show, I might add.
Cool.
He got inspired and started his own Silk City Hot Sauce show.
Awesome.
He claims to want me on it, but I have yet to receive a formal invitation. Hint, hint. And so I'm really stoked, Jeff, that you started this show. I saw one of your episodes, I think, on YouTube the other day, and that was that. I mean, it was awesome. This is my positive focus because I was going to bring this up anyway, but then Jeff showed up. I got another call yesterday from St. Petersburg, Florida, and I didn't recognize the number. It was a 727 number, so it was a Florida number, and I rarely answer the phone when I get a call from a number I don't recognize because I figure it's a spam call.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I have better things to do than ward off some pushy spammer or get registered in the spam registry and get my contact information reshared a billion more times. So, but for some reason I answer the phone, And on the other end, I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, good. Who's this? He's like, Ross. I'm like, Ross who? And it turned out it was Ross Carroll, who I interviewed with Harris Fellman, and Ross's business partner on the Tellman and Fellman show several months ago before we started the Get Shit Done show. And and he is starting a show.
Awesome.
And not only I think he's calling it like the Crazy Hair Club or something like that.
All right.
This guy looks like a Viking. He has red hair. I think he has long hair. I think he has a big long red beard. And he does Ragnar races, which is great, which is, so I've done a Ragnar race. And so anyway, at some point, I'm sure he and I are probably going to end up doing some kind of adventure race together. But he's an internet marketing guy, and he started about like 15 years ago or something like that. But he and I had never met before. He knew who I was, but I didn't really know who he was. And then we interviewed him a few months ago. Anyway, he's starting this show, and he just recorded the intro for it, and he's getting ready to launch it. And then my other friend, Croy is a first of all, he's an extraordinary individual. He is just this crazy. He's a motivational public speaker kind of guy. He, like me, is half Norwegian.
Okay.
He's an ultra distance runner. Several years ago, he set the record at the time for the Death Valley 100 race.
Oh, wow. Really?
Which is self-supported, and you're pushing like a cart on wheels that weighs like 150 pounds while running 100 miles in like 130-degree weather where your soles are melting into the freaking asphalt.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so he set the record for this thing. Total badass.
All right.
So he's he's an ultra-distance runner. He's half Norwegian. He's an internet marketer, and he's a hypnotist.
Wow. Go figure.
What the heck, right? And so anyway, we interviewed him for the show, and then he started his own show. And so
you interviewed him on the Tellman and Fellman show.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. And so there were a bunch of people that we interviewed that went on to start their own show in like just a few months, right? It happened really awesome. Very, very quickly. There were a few people who had, and I didn't know this at the time, but that hadn't done a live stream before. And so we even helped them to kind of lose their live stream virginity, I suppose,
right.
To kind of break the seal and get over that anxiety hump. And so but one of the interesting things is that I did this kind of streak of interviews with Harris, because most of the episodes that Harris and I did were interviews. Very quickly, like within the first week, we shifted to just having mostly 3-person interviews. Yep. And we were doing 5 days a week, and you and I are doing 7 days a week, right? Right. Or Get Shit Done show totally
Get Shit Done. Yeah, exactly.
And so it's a different thing, and I jumped into it with zero planning. I was just like, okay, we're going, and so the benefit and the value to everyone involved of doing interviews by bringing in other people, expert interviews with expertise, with clout, with influence, with knowledge that they're open and willing to share, stories, wisdom, etc., and audiences that they're willing to expose the message to is like, it's easy to get caught up in, will this person promote it to their list? Will this person co-stream it using, out to their audience? Because some people won't. And it's always kind of squirrely when interviewees like refuse basically to broadcast it out. Probably because it hasn't been curated yet. They don't, some people don't just live stream. Like they only put their best stuff out, and it's a different type of sensibility than live streaming every day. Like having a more curated or edited public image, it's a different vibe.
It
right?
is, yeah, definitely.
And I would even go so far as to say if it's done well, it's probably more effective, right? I just have such
True.
little tolerance for editing and like. So anyway, the point is, a bunch of people started their own shows, and so that was a strategic byproduct of this process. But when you interview people and promote their stuff, it creates you could say it's the law of reciprocity, but it creates a connection between you and the person that you interviewed. And now there's an opportunity for a follow-up interview down the road and see how things have changed since we last connected. There's if you're doing a podcast, or if you're on Facebook, or if you're broadcasting to YouTube, you can specifically look for people to interview that have channels on the primary channel that you're looking to grow on. And by nature, that's going to help you build your own audience in the process. But I've had so many people just from the Tellman and Fellman interviews come back to me saying how much they appreciated it, how helpful it was to them to kind of like break through and kind of get out of their own little fishbowl a little bit, right? And
cool.
so
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that we should but here's the problem with interviews, especially if you're doing like a daily show. You have to plan them. You have to schedule them in advance. You have to get it organized. You have to consistently reach out to more people than you need. So you have to develop a daily habit, or someone in the organization needs to develop the daily habit of reaching out to people, connecting with them, scheduling them in, having a backup plan in case somebody bails last minute, all this kind of stuff. And that's an enormous amount of planning and kind of administrative detail. That kind of stuff I struggle with hard. Like that stuff is so like, it's easy for me to be spontaneous. It's not easy for me to plan 30 days in advance with all my interviewees and get all the I's dotted and T's crossed and get everything lined up and organized in a reasonable amount of time. And so I tend to do everything pretty last minute, left to my own devices. So I'm suggesting that we immediately start interviewing more people from the community or outside of the community. Ideally, it's everybody that we're interviewing, people in the community. We also are growing the community, and it's still pretty small, right? It's still in its early stages. So I have so many friends and colleagues in the personal development and internet marketing entrepreneurial space that there's no shortage of people to interview. But what there is shortage of is, for me anyway, is attention span, right? Is there's a shortage of time in the day to kind of like follow up and get everything locked in, get everybody the instructions that they need, get everybody the details that they need, and have everything happen on time and consistently. So I guess we could talk about that more. But I want to just plant that seed, as I really think that it's going to add a lot of energy to the show, because we'll just have a lot more input, because there'll be another personality on
it will.
day, and
I've been meaning to mention, I've been looking at the backlog of Get Shit Done shows that are on my Facebook feed, and I noticed that the one where it's me, you, and Curtis, all three of us, it has like triple the amount of views on it.
Interesting.
Of like all the other ones. Yeah, people are like, oh, there's another person there. Like, what's happening today? This is different.
All right. Well, and that's part of the trick, is that it is different.
It's different.
And as soon as we have 3 people every day,
it won't be different.
It's no longer different. So,
but it's a different person every day.
Totally. Yeah, the pattern interrupt makes a big difference, and changing it up. So cool. Well, let's definitely do that. And not this weekend, but last weekend, Johnny Scoville from Chase the Heat jumped on, and he said he's totally up for an interview. So he'd be a great person.
Awesome.
Just because he's completely outside of the internet marketing world, but uses all the techniques in a really he doesn't use all the techniques. He uses some of the techniques to connect. He's really interesting. He's a hot pepper YouTuber,
right?
He's a hot pepper YouTuber, and so very interesting dude. So we'll get him on. Maybe I'll text him today and see what day we can get them on this week.
Great. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, we should brainstorm a list of people that we want and then start going after them.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I've got a bunch of people I could think of as well. So
cool. Well, I know that was my 15-minute positive focus. What's your positive focus?
Okay. Yeah, my positive focus. First and foremost, I slept really well last night. It was my first really sound sleep that I've had this past week. I slept really poorly. It was just a really difficult week on so many levels, so many things happening where it was just a lot of stress, a lot of work, a lot of long days of just, extensive training and then implementing, trying to keep up with my daily routines, and then just stuff blowing out around me and not getting enough sleep at night. And last night I slept so well and had usually if I don't sleep well, I won't have any dreams. My body's not rested enough. Last night I had a bunch of dreams, and so that's a good sign. And other positive focus, I spent some time yesterday evening and started building my webinar registration page, which felt good. And I have it almost complete. I've got the landing page. I've got the thank you page. I need to make my thank you page video. Basically the only thing I need to do, I wrote out the email that sends them the Zoom link to the webinar. I just need to hook up a couple of links. It took me a bit longer than the next one will, because I've never used Go High Level to build my own page before.
A lot longer.
Yeah, much longer. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I feel like the next one will be easily half the time, and then the one after that should probably only take me 15 minutes. You can just
clone them too, dude.
Clone them, okay.
Once you built one, you just clone it.
Sure, okay.
Or if it's a live webinar, you just literally change the text on the page.
Okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's great, dude. So I want to give you a little tip on your thank you page.
All right.
Okay. Before you make the video.
Yep.
Write your thank you page as if you're not going to have a video.
All right.
As few words as possible, but get all your points across. And one way you can do it is up at the top, just say, congratulations, you're registered for the webinar. Follow these important instructions, : All
right.
Literally follow these important instructions. And then you have whatever your important instructions are. Okay.
Cool.
Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Okay.
Yep.
And all of your instructions can change, but some example instructions that are usually pretty smart is check your email for an email from, and then you put what the from name is going to be and the from email address is going to be. Right?
Okay.
With the subject line, : and then you tell them the subject line, and you say that they're going to be emailed with the instructions on how to access the webinar, right?
Yep.
So check your email. Sometimes I don't know how, so I haven't actually built a funnel myself in Go High Level yet.
Okay.
Damaging admission. It's true. I have a Go High Level account. I have no good reason that I just haven't made the transition yet.
All right. And you're using ClickFunnels
primarily.
Okay.
For most things, most of the time. Yeah. I mean, I have like a bunch of things, but I've been using ClickFunnels for so long. I usually just use that. It's because I know it like the back of my hand.
All right.
Add to calendar. Add this to calendar. So Go High Level may or may not make that easy. Okay. If that doesn't make it easy, don't use that step.
Okay? I think it makes it easy. I noticed that Google Calendars is fully integrated into my Go High Level account, which is awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know how that's going to affect your ability to add this to your calendar on your thank you page. That's a different thing.
That's a good question. I'll look into it.
This isn't about your calendar.
Right.
It's not about
Okay.
your Google Calendar. It's about their Google Calendar.
Their Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
yeah, I'll look into that.
Go high level. I'm sure you can do it, but I just don't know how to do it. The easiest. So add to calendar is common. Check your email for details and your link on how to access the webinar. And then again, you tell them the name, the from email address, and the subject line. And then usually step 3 is go do your homework before the webinar. Go buy this, or like go buy this low ticket thing, or if something to the effect of, if you're in a rush and you want to skip the line and get involved, get on, book a call with me before the webinar starts, link.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that's like a good step 1, step 2, step 3, right? Or it could be step 1, check your email. Step 2, book a call.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you should be able to, if you're using Zoom, you should be able to edit part of the email that automatically sends out. And if you can edit part of the email that automatically sends out from Zoom, then I say maybe, because Zoom's its own company. I don't know what kind of plan you have, blah, blah. I know the plan that I have, I can edit part of the email.
Okay. Well, I guess I wasn't aware that Zoom sends out the email. I was
well just hold on. I'm giving you all the details. So this is a quick like webinar optimization talk. Like, do as much of this as you can, right? And you can totally ask me about it again or whatever. But this is for everybody doing a webinar. Some real simple, like behind the scene tech stuff that will maximize what you're doing. I haven't done a webinar in maybe even a year, dude. It's been a long time, and I have 2 this week. It's very exciting. I haven't built the landing pages for either one of them yet. So I like, it's going to be a busy day for me.
Yep.
So thank you page. Again, you're redirecting to an external thank you page from your webinar. Zoom is going to send you. So in the editable email from Zoom, you should be able to put a message and a link to a low ticket offer that you're selling, or a book a call page. Okay. So go and basically add a note or a PS or something like that inside there with a link to your book a call page. Because right now your primary aim is to book discovery calls for people who want to talk about getting involved with joining your team and becoming a Kagan distributor, right? And like, that's the game. That's what you're looking for. And you're looking for people who want that, right? And who are like, wow, this seems like it would be a great thing for me. It's a great product. It's high ticket. It's a good community. This makes sense for me, right? And so put that in your email. Put that link in your email. You only have so many characters, but I would recommend use all the characters. Like, really, like in the email, put the link in there. Maybe even more than once, maybe twice, with a bunch of copy, depending on how many characters Zoom gives you to mess with. In the meantime, when they opt into Zoom, if you set everything up right with Zapier, then you'll have Zoom integrated with Zapier, and you'll have Zapier integrated with your email client, that whatever you're using to build your email list. And so that's how you'll add people to your email list. Will that happen for this week's webinar? Maybe not. Maybe you'll import them in, and the next week's webinar it will be all automated. But gotcha. If you're using Zapier or one of Zapier's competitors to integrate between Zoom and your autoresponder or your emails, whatever you're using to send email, it's also true with well, you probably won't ask for SMS on in the situation, but then you'll be sending a duplicate email, welcome to the webinar, from your email provider. It's not one or the other. It's not Zoom or your email system. It's both. Okay, so send from both, because when it comes from you personally, that's an email from you. When it comes from Zoom, that's an email from a separate company, Zoom, right? So I would encourage, and one of them or both of them could go into the promotions folder, could go into the spams folder, whatever. So better to be redundant, and send the email from both places if you can.
Okay. So I guess that was my next question, is what would be the advantage of having the email sent from Zoom as opposed to
most people don't open
autoresponder?
most emails, Eric.
Right. Yeah,
most
they don't.
Open most emails. It increases your chances.
All right, gotcha.
Right. And use different subject lines and use different copy, but have all the same information. Okay. And the call to action in your email, that if it comes out from your autoresponder, is also book a call. Okay. So now your thank you page is done. Now you record a video of you saying, "Hi, I'm Eric. Welcome to the webinar. Follow these important instructions carefully. We have 3 things for you to do before the event. Number 1, I want you to add this to your calendar. Number 2, I want you to go check your email right now while this video is playing and confirm that you got the email, confirm that you used the right email, confirm that you got your link." Right? You're going to get an email from Zoom, and you're going to get an email from me. Open the one from me, right?
Yep.
Or whatever. And then number 3 is, so if you've come this far, then you're probably pretty interested in what's going on. Let me give you a few secrets about what we're going to be talking about in the webinar. And then you do your mini call booking pitch, right?
Okay,
where you're
cool.
kind of just doing an overview of what you're going to talk about in the webinar and an overview of the opportunity. But it's like a 5-minute video, dude.
Yep.
Maybe a 10-minute video. And then at the end of the video, still do that timed button that pops up. Even though below it will be all the copy for step 1, step 2, step 3. Your video will be at the top. Your instructions will be, under your video. And then after 4 minutes and 39 seconds or whatever, your button will pop that says, talk to me before, book a call and talk to me before the webinar.
Right. And that'll be just right below the video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. That's great.
So there's one extra layer that I'm going to tell you, even though it's just an extra layer of complication, but it will improve things for everyone. Which is, remember how, and that's when they click that button, they're probably going to go to the, actually, I'm just going to simplify this whole thing. So what you want to do is, in the emails that go out that confirm the date, the time, and the link and all that stuff, send them back to your thank you page with the video on it.
Okay.
Rather than sending them straight to your Calendly link, send them back to the page with the video on it, because you want to make sure, you in particular want to make sure that your people see the video before they book a call, because they won't have done any webinar yet.
Right.
And they have no idea what's going on. If they're coming in totally cold, you're going to waste so much time. Right.
Yep.
So I would encourage, so what I was going to say is make a separate video that you can send them to from the emails. But for the purposes that you have right now, you don't even need to do that. You can just send them back to the video with the thank you page that is embedded on the thank you page, the webinar registration thank you page, and from those emails. And then they can book a call when the button pops, or if they click on the step 3 link.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. And just keep it real clean. Just keep it like black and white. You know what I mean? Like the page and stuff. Cool. So, do you have any questions about that whole process? I know we just kind of went on a webinar construction tangent, but does that all make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. The last part, I just want to make sure I have that right.
Yeah.
So the the email that I send them after they opt in to the registration page.
Yep.
That brings them back to the thank you. Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty self-explanatory. It brings them back to the thank you page where they have the opportunity to watch the video and they book the call from there.
Right.
As opposed to putting the call booking link in the email.
Right. And the reason for that is they don't know who you are. They don't know what the opportunity is. The only thing that they've made, like, if they've seen, they probably haven't seen the video, because if they're in that email, they followed step 1, which is go check your email. And so the video might be playing in the background.
Right.
It might not
right.
be. You know what I mean? And so if you bring them back to that video, then you'll have 5-10 minutes to at least let them know that they're booking a call to sign up to learn more about the Kagan distribution opportunity.
Right.
Right.
Do you think it might be more effective to send them to a separate page with like an evergreen webinar with a call booking link? That way they get the full information. So I'm not booking calls with people that have just sort of a vague idea of what's happening. So I don't want to I don't want to book a bunch of calls with people that I have to basically do one-on-one webinars on the phone.
So the answer is, I would do it the way I just suggested it, because it's the fewest number of moving parts.
Sure. Yeah.
And until your schedule's full, doesn't matter.
All right. Sure.
Until your schedule's full, you want to get everybody on your calendar you can, so that you can like get in the groove.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
3 sales calls a day or whatever it is your goal is. And then if you're like, man, these people are completely unqualified and it's pissing me off, then it's a great time to make it a little bit more difficult for people to book a call with you by forcing them to consume more of the information and self-select out. Right. But you don't really want to do that until your calendar's full.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But you'll probably want to do that. But just for now, I would recommend get as many people on your calendar as possible, so you can get a baseline and find out what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Right.
Cool.
What I would do, dude, is I would begin to shift your messaging, because I've been writing like PSs for the descriptions for the show and things for PurePath for a while.
Yep.
And check in with some of your Kagan distributor upline people right on this.
All right.
But I would recommend that you shift your messaging to be focused on helping people become, and I don't think you should use this term, but badass network marketers.
All right.
Okay. If you want to become an astonishingly effective network marketer, come join our group. If you want to become the best network, if you want to reach the top of the organization that you're in, come join our group. If you want to master your sales skills as a network marketer, come join our group. But really focus on people who want to become extraordinarily skilled network marketers.
Right.
Because first of all, that will attract more people that actually like want to become better, that want to improve their skills rather than just looking for like easy money handouts.
Right.
The other thing that it will do is it will repel anyone who's already anti-network marketing and who's going to be a pain in the ass.
True.
So just by being forthright and direct, if you want to become an amazing network marketer, come check out our Facebook group.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah.
I think that would work better. But again, I would check in with your upline and see what they think about that.
I'll do that.
Is that too direct? Is it is that going to turn too many people off? I don't know. I don't think so. I think people who are into network marketing are really into it. Everyone else isn't into it, but like, I think people that are into network marketing are generally like drinking the Kool-Aid pretty hard.
That's true.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm drinking the internet marketing Kool-Aid pretty hard.
Yep.
Cool. So Eric, when we were originally talking about our topic this morning, You said something along the lines of, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm having a large bank, where I have a large bank of information, strategy, and direction, and I'm needing to double down and implement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I know we're talking about some practical, tactical stuff about webinars that are all implementable. You said your primary objective is to finish your webinar registration page. I didn't read this yet. Present my webinar tomorrow and get as many people registered for next week webinar and book as many sales calls as possible. Great. Yeah. So it's basically roll the webinar out and like hopefully everything works. Right? Like
exactly.
Great. So yeah, and then start promoting again for next week's webinar. I would also suggest that you're trying to do the webinar, get as many people booked for it as possible, and then to promote the replay for a few days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So don't forget about that step. Very important.
Yeah.
You're probably going to find that more people watch your replay than your live webinar. And I can't speak about this definitively because I haven't tested it in a long time, but my feeling is that your replay will probably be best served by putting it up on a page as a video.
All right.
And then sending email and messages directly to people to go and watch the replay.
All right. So like a page that I create on Go High Level.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Versus trying to do a live rebroadcast. Like that's a pain in the butt, and you're still dealing with a pretty small number of people. So I would probably do the live version and then download it, upload it, put it on a sales page. You could even download it, upload it to Descript, get rid of all the ahs and the ums, add captions, and then upload it as a video. And then if you wanted to do some editing or make it fancy looking, but so you're basically looking. So you did your first webinar last week. This week you're upgrading your system. You're having a webinar registration page. Hopefully, if more people show up, and hopefully, if some people watch the replay and book some calls in the process.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. So, so our weekly planning session is very quickly turning into just like a webinar planning session, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. So maybe I'll come up with some sort of more formulaic template in the future for the weekly planning session, because it's not like we're working off a worksheet or something.
Exactly. It's kind of perfect for Mondays to do it this way too, because we're gearing up for our Get Shit Done work party here in a little bit.
As a matter of fact, we are, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never attended a Get Shit Done work party, this is your time. Work parties happen at noon Eastern on Monday, which is in 2 hours from now. And there's only one way you can get in. It's by being part of the Get Shit Done cult. We are a productivity cult for entrepreneurs. We train entrepreneurs to get shit done. The important needle moving shit that's going to grow and impact your business the most in the most positive way, that you also avoid doing and procrastinate on doing left to your own devices. We get together and we do the hard stuff that's going to make the biggest difference in your business. If you need accountability, even though you hate to admit it, join getshitdone.com. Join us for the work party at noon, and you'll get more work done in that 1 hour than you probably will the entire day. So come join us at getshitdone.com. Join the community. Join our work party at noon. It's inside in the calendar section of the community, and we would love to see you on the inside. Eric, how have work parties impacted your life?
They've impacted my life positively in that I'm able to take the things that I've been procrastinating on, the things that I have to stretch and learn some new skills, face some internal fear blockages and move through them, and just button down and do it in a specific period of time. There's other people doing the same thing, and we're all kind of like waiting on each other, and then we check in at the end and we either did the thing or we didn't. So everybody gets it done, you know? And that's what's so cool.
It's really, I mean, it's babysitting. It's
Yeah.
entrepreneurial babysitting, but it's so easy for so many of us to get distracted that it's setting up an environment where we can support each other and staying focused even when it's hard, right? And
Right.
like banking on that stuff. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I like about it most, is it's getting those key things that I would otherwise keep putting off and just distract myself with my daily routine stuff, just my regular content or whatever it is that I would be doing anyway, and always have that key thing that's a little bit uncomfortable, or I have to stretch my brain, learn some new skills, do some troubleshooting, maybe stumble and fall a couple times while I'm trying to figure it out, and just take that and make that precedent and button down and get it done.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yep.
So your primary objective is to do the webinar this week, and then do the replay, and then get the webinar going for next week. And
That's right.
So this will be part of the planning session. So there are two ways you can do this, guys. And Eric, one is, and I recommend this, is you just literally write down or type. You're going to need to type it one way or the other, or dictate it. The action items that you can currently see that you need to knock out in order to do this week's webinar and do the replay. Right. So step one is write down all of the action items, and action items are to-do list items. They're items that are check-offable. They're measurable. When they're done, you can see they're done, and someone else can see they're done. Ideally,
Right.
there's something that someone else could check off the checklist and say, "Yep, you did it. Good job, buddy." Right?
Yep.
And so you want to make sure that they're very specific things that you need to knock out in order to get this webinar done this week. Like, for now, forget about next week, right? Let's just start with getting this week's webinar knocked out, right? What needs to happen? Boom, 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 right? And so off the top of your head, go ahead and make that list. Like, just verbalize it. What are the things that you, and even if we've already talked about it here,
Yeah.
like, what are the things that you see? Because you're doing your webinar on Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Does the webinar registration page exist yet?
Only in fragments. It's not published yet.
Yeah. So you need to get shit done. So
right, exactly.
Great. So what do you need to, like, what are the action items that you need to complete that you can currently see?
I need to integrate my Zoom link into my registration page or the email, or figure out the Zoom email. I might wait for next week to figure out the Zoom emailing system and just send the Zoom link out in the autoresponder email, but I need to get that dialed in.
Hold on, you're confused.
Okay, maybe so.
You need to create a Zoom registration page.
A Zoom registration page.
Yeah, you don't want to do a registration page and go high level at this point. That
Really?
That wasn't part of the plan.
Oh, okay. I was building it in Go High Level.
Yeah, your thank you page should be in Go High Level.
Okay,
don't
but
build a registration page right now. Too many steps.
All right.
We're trying to scale back the pieces. We're trying to have as few moving pieces as possible. Okay. Zoom has the ability to quickly and easily build a registration page. All you need to do is give it a title, write a description.
Okay.
Done, and you're finished.
I guess I was not aware that Zoom had that capability. Now
totally does.
Yep.
Totally
okay,
does.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's why I'm emphasizing it. And people trust Zoom registration pages, generally speaking, more than whatever you're going to build anyway. Because it's familiar.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Right? And so you need to build your Zoom registration page.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next thing?
I need to create a couple of more slides for my webinar to add in some new elements that are going to be different from last week's webinar.
Update webinar Slides. Yep.
Yep.
So
And
I added in build your thank you page because I feel like it's not done yet, right?
right. Yeah, it's not. I started
Right.
it and I just need to build it out a little bit more, make the video, elaborate on the text, make some changes.
Yep. Okay. Update webinar slides. You need to update Zoom auto email, right?
Yep.
Are you going to add people to your own email system?
Yes.
Okay. Integrate Zapier, Zoom, and what are you using for email?
I'm using the autoresponder on Go High Level.
And GHL email.
Mm-hmm.
Which could be problematic integrating it with Zoom. Because I've never done that. So you'll have to look it up. So again, if that doesn't work, don't worry about it. Just get the webinar registration page done. Okay. Right. What else do you see that you need to do?
I need to, just finish my email.
What does that mean?
Integrate the links that I need to integrate into it.
Finish the thank you email.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then I need to promote.
How are people getting from your webinar to your call booking page?
So the very first webinar that I did last week, I did not have a call booking page. I just had a call to action at the end of the webinar to reach out to me directly and book a call.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Exactly. That was just,
Yeah.
Doing it all on the fly and not prepared.
Better than nothing.
Yep.
Better than nothing. It was webinar 1. I mean,
yep.
Right. So I'm not. Yeah, that sounded very critical. Let's make it better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The question is this week, how are you getting people from your webinar to your call booking page?
They are, it goes in through the email. What you were sharing with me earlier was that they receive the email with the link that goes back to my thank you page, and from the thank you page, they can book a call with me. When the button
that's
comes
all
up.
true.
Yep.
That wasn't my question.
All right.
That has nothing to do with what I asked.
All right.
Okay, so I want you to remember the training you just took with Russell.
Yep.
Okay, he did 3 days of training.
Mm-hmm.
And on day 2 and day 3, he had a call to action to go join the coaching program.
Correct.
How did he get people from the webinar, from the training? It was a training webinar instead of the straight up sales webinar. It was a hybrid, right? How do you get people from the training webinar to the order form?
Right. He had there were multiple ways. He had emails that got sent out on a daily basis with a link that goes to.
No. How do we get people from the webinar?
From the webinar itself. He had a website that you could copy and paste into your web browser.
And was it
just
a straight URL or was there a backslash?
I think there was a backslash.
Okay. So it's better if you but it's better if you have a straight URL to give out where without anything after it. Okay.
Exactly.
So joinericsteam.com. Okay. I mean, that's not that good because the apostrophe S on Eric's, but like joinmyteam.com. If that were available, join my team would be awesome.
Yep.
Or it could be learn from Eric, right? Or work with Eric, right? Work with Eric would be good if workwitheric.com is available. I would bet it's probably not available.
Probably not. Maybe.
Yeah. Or I think somebody else owns it, but like ericoliver.com. That would be okay.
Yeah, that one's
right?
taken. Yeah.
But you want something really simple. And if you have to do a backslash, do a backslash. Just keep it super simple, like /call.
All right.
Right. And so what website, what domain do you have set up on Go High Level?
It's legacywealth333.com.
Okay. Well, Is there a better whatever? If you have another domain that you could use to give out at the end of your webinar that's appropriate, use it. And you can even just redirect it at the domain level, right? Like if you go get it through GoDaddy or whatever, you can just forward it directly to your Calendly page.
All right.
Right. And so what you want is a really easy to follow link on your webinar that you can give out 100 times or a bunch of times and just be like, hey, so if you're ready to join me, if you want to have a talk and see if you'd be right for the team, joinmyteam.com/call or whatever,
Right.
And then they go, it's just easy to type in. There's no weird numbers. Things can't be misspelled. Like the fewer anomalies in the, and weird characters in the domain, the higher the chances are that someone will actually get to where you're trying to get them to go.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
So I would highly recommend that you get your webinar call to action domain set up. And that's either domain or URL, right?
Okay.
And for the time being, that will probably just go straight to your Calendly page. In the future, you might make a separate video that's like, hey, this is Eric. You're here because you came from the webinar. Down below is my Calendly page, or the application or whatever. So this can change over time. But for now, this would be the simplest way to do it. Anything else that you can see that you need to get done in order to have this webinar happen? Well, you need to promote.
I need to promote it. What's that?
You need to promote the webinar.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah, I need to promote it
via email and social.
Yep.
And Messenger and your group.
Yep.
Invite your upline to critique you after.
Yep.
Okay, I just put this into the chat, the comments. There's a whole list for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And right now, I'm going to give you the opportunity to promote Pure Path.
Oh, we lost Tellman. So yeah, let's talk about the Pure Path to Prosperity. So Pure Path to Prosperity is my Facebook group that I created where I'm hosting and presenting my Wave of Prosperity webinar. And I just presented my very first one last week, and tomorrow I'm presenting it again at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking all about the high ticket network marketing opportunity that I'm working with and how you can use this incredible opportunity to create more time freedom in your life, more flexibility, have the ability to work from home or anywhere in the world where you might want to be. Like if you have a job that's maybe it's paying you well, maybe you even like your job, but you're just always stuck at your job and you would love the opportunity to work from home and be around your family, be around your partner, be around your kids, and create a life by your own design instead of just doing what everybody else is doing and what society expects of you. Create something different, something better, something that feels more aligned with your core values and what you want to create in your life. Join Pure Path to Prosperity, and the link is in the description of this video down at the bottom.
That's
and
right.
I'll see you there.
You really need to drink more water on camera.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I haven't drank enough water yet this morning.
I know. You need like a Pure Path to Prosperity mug or something.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I got my blue glass too. Cheers. Cobalt.
But you probably don't have Kangen water in it.
Nope. I got Vermont spring water. Thank you very much.
That sounds pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So there's that list. So guys, if you've never done the thing that you're trying to do this week, um, when you're making a planning session, there are a lot of different ways that you can plan and you can organize your action items and all this stuff. But step one, brainstorm a list. Step two, brainstorm a list with somebody else who knows what they're talking about, that's already done it. Going through that process with Eric, I've done a million webinars, so like I know the how to set up webinars like the back of my hand, right? Step three is take your list and your inquiry, which is I'm planning my week, Chat GPT, and my intention is to get registrations for my webinar, launch my webinar called The Wave of Prosperity, get people to register for it, get people to show up, book sales calls in the process, and then promote the replay.
Right.
The webinar's on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Right now it's Monday at 10 a.m. And I need a very step-by-step. I'm doing a Zoom webinar. I'm integrating with Zapier. I'm going to plug into Go High Level's email provider by integrating all those together. I need to build my registration page, my thank you page. Here's the list of things that I think I need to do. I need you to add in anything that I left out and organize and plan it for the next few days so that everything is covered in a reasonable amount of time, and you can give me my step-by-step action plan so I can knock everything out and get everything done and cover all my bases. If you take 5 minutes to write a prompt like that and then you press go, ChatGPT is going to fill in all the blanks. It's going to tell you everything you forgot, most of the stuff you forgot about, and you're going to have a very step-by-step action plan. And all you have to do is drink a little coffee, sit down, and bang out the items. Right. Anybody using ChatGPT, anybody using AI already knows this, but I have to remind myself to do things like this all the time because I don't use AI for everything all the time. I use it every few days. I use it for something cool, not all day, every day. Right.
Oh, okay.
But like planning and organizing, very, very, very effective at planning and organizing and giving you like practical action items for something that other people have done 1,000 times.
Right. Just because I was using it yesterday for like, it was giving me step-by-step instructions on using Go High Level, just like basic tech stuff that I didn't know how to do. I needed to figure out. I needed specific instructions on my, specific thing that I was creating. And yeah, it did a really good job. Step-by-step, clear, easy to follow instructions that worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had some steel cut oats and which I normally would just make oatmeal with in the morning. And I bought this giant bag of apples from the co-op that I guess were a good deal because my daughter said they were mealy and I needed to like get different apples for her lunch, but they tasted fine. They'd go fine in smoothies. So I decided to make an apple crisp. But I think maybe if I've ever made an apple crisp, it was like easily 20 years ago. I don't bake that much. I cook, but I don't bake very much. And I don't normally make things that are like lean sweet. Right. And all I had was steel cut oats. And so I asked ChatGPT to see if it had a recipe to make a steel cut oat apple crisp. And sure enough, same thing. Cool. Very step-by-step instructions instantaneously. Right. So it's so funny. Like everything is so readily available to us, from cooking to every other area of our life. There are downsides to all of this, but it's a really, really interesting time.
Right.
Really interesting.
No, I mean, another interesting application for ChatGPT that I used a couple of days ago that it's totally not business related, but I thought was really cool. I was going for a walk. It was in a nature area, and there were some plants that I kept seeing. I didn't know what they were. I took a photo of them and I gave it to ChatGPT. asking what is this and what are
Right.
the medicinal properties and all of that, and it told me exactly what it was and all the properties and if it was poisonous. And yeah, it's like, wow, I'd never used a chat GPT for plant
That's
identification
right.
before.
There you go. Yeah.
Now we have that.
It's
Yeah,
everywhere. It's
it's
everywhere.
everywhere. Yep.
That's awesome. Cool, man. Well, you know what? We got a lot of shit to get done today.
Yeah, we do.
Guys, if you're into network marketing and you want to become an awesome network marketer, go join Eric's Pure Path to Prosperity. And if you're an entrepreneur and you want to get more shit done, we got a work party coming up at noon and we would love to have you on it. You have to go join us at getshitdone.com. And inside the members area, where there's a calendar with a secret link to our Get Shit Done work party at noon Eastern. We do it every week in our Get Shit Done community. And yeah, we'd love to see you there. Love to have you as part of the community if you enjoy the show. And if you want to dramatically amplify and increase your personal productivity, it's a great place to do it. So with that said, you know what time it is, Eric?
It's time to get shit done.
It is time to get shit done. Thank you very much for an awesome episode as always.
Yeah, thank you. And
All
thank
right,
you guys
all
for
of our
watching.
Yeah, that's right. Raving fans, true believers, thanks for being here. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, if not at noon, to get shit done. Goodbye.